flight salute by Pack 84, Den 3.
Cub Scouts attention, Color Guard attention, Color Guard advance. Color Guard. Color Guard halt. Color Guard post the colors. Cub Scout salute. Repeat with me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberties and justice for all. 2. Color Guard retreat. Color Guard halt. Color Guard dismissed. Thank you.
Thank you. Ready with the video statement? Liz, would you read the video statement, please?
This meeting of the Galt City Council is being videotaped in its entirety and will be cablecast without interruption on Metro Cable 14, the Government Affairs channel on the Comcast and SureWest cable systems. Tonight's meeting can be seen on Channel 14 and will also be webcast at www.saxmetrocable.tv this Friday, September 9th at 1 p.m. and Saturday, September 10th at 9 a.m. Tonight's meeting can also be seen via live video streaming on the city's website at www.ci.galt.ca.us. A DVD copy is also available for checkout from any library branch. Members of the audience wishing to address the City Council should fill out a speaker identification form and give it to the clerk. Please speak into the microphone when addressing Council and state your name for the record.
Thank you. At this time, I would ask for agenda approval. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda? No? Mike?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks for asking.
We will then go to presentations.
Okay, the first one we have on Energy Upgrade California, Jennifer Seeger from California First.
Good evening, Mayor and Council members. I'm delighted to be here to talk to you tonight about Energy Upgrade California. Energy Upgrade California is, let's see, ready for this?
It'll take this minute. Can you talk, say a few words so I make sure your mic's working?
Okay, testing. Can you hear me? See.
I think so. If you, yeah.
So Energy Upgrade California is a program that's a collaboration between the California Energy Commission and the Public Utilities Commission. Are we all set? Okay. There's approximately 13 million homes in California, and 9 million of those homes were built before there were any energy codes at all. You didn't have to have insulation in your home. And it's said that if you take all the little leaks and cracks in a home, put them together into one area, you'd get a an opening that's about 20 inches by 20 inches, and this is like leaving a window open in the wintertime, letting the cold air come in the summertime, letting the hot air come in. There's also been research done, and they say that the average California home has leaky ducts, that 30% of the air that you heat and cool for your home never makes it into the rooms. It escapes to the attic through the crawl space. So what is Energy Upgrade California? Well, it's a response by the California Energy Commission to Assembly Bill 758 that requires that there be greater energy savings in residential and non-residential building stock. The goal is 40% by the year 2020. As I said, it's a partnership between the Energy Commission, the Public Utilities Commission, collaboration with governments and different utilities. The goal is, this is a statewide program, and the goal is to upgrade thousands of homes in California. It's been funded by a variety of sources, including ARA funding, some state money. And the program was designed to provide resources for property owners, residential property owners. So the first thing that was created is a one-stop shop web portal, and this consolidates all the information that a property owner would need to upgrade their home. Then there's also some funding available for this program, and there's programs to try to create some clean energy jobs. So I'm going to tell you a story about a family that went through this program. They lived in a house that was built before the energy codes. They found through an energy assessment that they could save about 35% on their home by replacing the furnace, sealing, insulating. The total cost for this family was $12,000. I'm going to give you, you're lucky that you're in SMUD territory. These numbers are not for SMUD. So if you, the SMUD of 35% energy savings would give you a $4,750 rebate, and there's a federal tax credit. So here in Galt, this job would cost the homeowner $6,750. And this is more than made up, the cost of the job is more than made up by the energy savings if you go out for 10 years. So that you could either have your energy, pay the bill, let the energy go out the window, or you could pay the bill and live in a home that has updated furnace, air conditioning, is more comfortable because it has insulation and little tracks are sealed. I used to live in a home that would have been the perfect picture home for this program. It was very breezy. So there are many resources available on this website that I talked about. This is the web address where you can find the information. It's available in all 58 counties. There's education on the website for the homeowner. And there are two main rebate packages for this program. Again, the first package deals with just sealing your building envelope. You don't have to have an energy assessment there. They've determined that if you seal the building envelope, seal your ducts, these 7 different things, that you save about 10%, and you get a $1,500 rebate in the SMUD territory, a little bit more again than the other areas. The second package requires an actual energy assessment, and you probably are all aware that the $500 energy assessment it only costs $99 in SMUD territory. So you would have this energy assessment, and then the contractor would come back to you and give you a full list of a range of things that you could do. And then it would, if you chose to participate in the program, you could choose what you wanted to do, whether it was many things or a few things. It could be wall insulation, cool roofs, heating, air conditioning. This is a list of the energy savings achieved and the rebates. You can see that it goes from $1,500 up to, for a 10% savings, up to $9,000 for a 50% savings. This website also has other rebates that are available for energy efficiency and renewable energy in the Galt zip code. There's 44 of them. It ranges from a rebate for a room air conditioner all the way up to solar hot water, fuel cells, solar energy. The web portal also has information about financing. There's a lot of financing that you would know about, secured, unsecured. There's information about solar-specific financing. But the financing that I really want to draw your attention to this evening is on the local page. There's information about SMUD's financing, which you're probably more familiar with. And then there's a program right now that is available called CHF. And this is financing that's for people who are within a certain income range. And it's between 60 and 160% of median income for your county. So here, it would be 45,000 approximately, up to a little over 121,000. And this is a program that is going to probably disappear pretty quickly. It has some ARA money. It has a little bit of the CHF money. There was 18.5 million, but this is statewide. I know, and for the month of July, 2 million went out the door because it's a great program. This is financing that you can combine with those rebates that I told you about. So, for example, you know, I think, let's see, it got down to 6,750. So if you had 3% financing over 15 years, and this again is something that doesn't require an appraisal, it doesn't require a minimum credit score, and there's no down payment required. So you could finance 100% of the project. I calculated that it would be at approximately $40 a month for 15 years to finance the $12,000 worth of work. This program is also available if you're a property owner for your rental property. So again, it's you just have to meet the income requirements. In addition to the loan program for this program, there's also a small grant component. There's 15% of the project cost, or up to $1,250, and then there's also $700 to cover the test and the test out inspection. So again, this money is available through March 2012 or until it runs out. At this point, the contractors who are involved in this expect it to run out. So if you are interested in this program, have people in your area who would like to take advantage of them, encourage them to look into it right away. There's also information on this website about contractors. If you want to participate in this program, you have to use contractors who are part of this program. And they've gone through special training by SMUD. And they also have other certifications. And you can get all that information on the website if you're interested. So if you're a homeowner, you want to participate in the program, you have a list of different contractors that you can go through and you know, find out a little bit of information about and then contact them. There's also information through this program, funding through this program, for a subsidized contractor training program. It's just rolled out last week. It's going to be, if you want to participate in this program, you have to be part of a building that has Building Performance Institute training. And the program typically costs around $1,500. The subsidized training program will cost $65. And this is for a week-long training program, and there will be a test and some on-site work. There's also some money for mentoring available for this program. Again, all of this information is on this website. So you can, and we're also going to have a training, or not training program, but really a program about financing for contractors up at SMUD on November 4th. So different programs are rolling out to help the contractors who are interested in participating in this type of program. There's marketing materials available for cities, available for contractors, just to get the word out to people. It's available in Spanish, Chinese, and English. So there are obviously many benefits to homeowners and to communities. It improves the local housing stock, creates jobs, hopefully will help revitalize the economy. We're at this point looking for some success stories. So if we find a family who's gone through the program in Galt, we're hoping to have a success story with the contractors who's been involved. I'm part of Valley Vision, and we are responsible for a 5-county region, getting the word out about this program. So I'd be happy to answer any questions, and this is the web address where you can find information, and you can contact me if you have any questions, and I would be delighted to work with you or your staff to help get the word out in Galt. I've put on some workshops in some other counties where we've had council members, we've had contractors come and talk to the public about the program. I've talked a little bit about energy upgrade California. So there's a number of ways that we could work together, but we certainly hope you'll let people know, especially about the CHS financing that could be running out soon. So thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing that with us. Sandy, do we have any information in our department on how we could hook up with her in our building department?
We did have a link to the Energy Upgrade California website on our website. I'll make sure that that's still there, but sure, anybody can call the planning department. We can connect them up directly.
Okay, sounds like
That website directly also has a local page, so it's very helpful if they just go straight to that address.
Or you type in your county, then you type in your zip code.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate
Thank
that.
you. Appreciate being here.
Any questions from the council before she gets away, or anybody?
That was a great presentation.
It was good, yeah.
And thank you very much.
Very informative.
Okay, next, what is
Next is the Human Resources Department, Paula Islas, City of Galt Workers' Compensation, Liability, and Insurance Program. And while she's getting prepared, one thing I didn't do is remind everybody to turn off or silence your cell phones and pagers. So, if anybody forgot.
They wouldn't have a pager anymore.
I don't know. I could ask.
Okay, I think we're ready. Can you hear me okay? Okay, good evening, Council and Mayor. Tonight's presentation is an overview of the city's risk management program. Risk management is a part of the Human Resources Department that not everyone is aware of, so I'm just going to go over the components of the department and give you a brief overview of what actually takes place in those areas. The purpose of risk management is to provide a safe environment for the employees and also for the community, and also to reduce or eliminate the city's exposure to liability. And I serve as the city's risk manager. The areas that risk management covers are workers' compensation, liability coverage, property insurance, crime insurance, and risk prevention. An overview of workers' compensation, as probably everybody is aware, that the state of California requires every employer to provide workers' comp insurance and benefits to their employees. And this is if they either are an injury or illness during the course of their employment. So if it's work-related, that's when workers' compensation benefits kick in. And those benefits include medical treatment, which is any medical treatment or transportation or anything involved with the injury or illness. If an employee is unable to come to work, they are paid temporary disability payments, and the temporary disability payments are typically about 2/3 of the employee's salary, and those are paid based on the state of California's workers' comp law. Now, the city of Galt goes beyond that, and for the 6 months after an injury or an illness that's work-related, we make it the difference in the employee's salary, and they don't have to reduce their sick leave bank. In addition, if they go to any doctor's appointments or physical therapy during those first 6 months, the city will pay for that time off as well. If the employee has a permanent disability after an injury or an illness, they also are entitled to benefits, which is usually a lump sum payment, and again, it's all paid based on the state of California's work comp laws. We can also offer rehabilitation. That's usually vocational training. If they can't return to work, they could be trained to perform another type or line of work. And then also death benefits. Suffers, dies in the line of work. Unfortunately, we've never had to pay that benefit. An overview of the claims process. Once an employee, if they're injured or have an illness that's work-related, they need to let their supervisor know as soon as possible. And the supervisor then will have the employee fill out all the paperwork, and they submit a claim that goes to Human Resources. And at that point, I set up an appointment with them with our occupational health doctor, and that's when the process begins. If they're injured after normal business hours, then they go directly to immediate care or an emergency room, and that's their supervisor should direct them to that right away. Once the claim is received in my office, I work with York Risk Services. They are a third-party administrator that is through NCCSIF, which we'll talk about a little bit later, and they assist with they provide guidance and direction in the claim, but they also advise on the merit of the claim, on medical services. They keep all of the records for our claim, and they also have the oversight of our legal defense. And usually I work with our, we have a claims administrator that I work with probably 3 or 4 times a week, discussing anywhere from new claims to medical services and a variety of areas having to do with workers' comp claims. Again, the types of claims, physical injury, could be, our claims have a wide variety, back, knees, necks, ankles. There's also exposure to chemicals, bloodborne pathogens, and then there's also non-physical claims such as mental stress. And just to let you know, currently our city has 28 physical claims, and the oldest one dates back to 1994, but most of them are, relatively recent within the last few years. That's kind of a brief synopsis or overview of our workers' comp. The next area is liability, and that's when it's an avenue for any employee, or excuse me, not employee, but anyone can file a claim against the city if they feel that they have, the city is responsible for any type of personal or property damage. And this is called a tort claim. And the individual has 45 days from the incident to file a claim with the city, and the city then has, they have 6 months to file the claim, and the city has 45 days in receipt of the claim to either accept it or reject it. And in most cases, the tort claim process must be exhausted prior to an individual filing a lawsuit with a public agency. And the liability programs that we have through the City of Galt covers general liability, auto liability, employment practices, and public officials' errors and omissions. So again, I work with the York Risk Services to administer the claim from the receipt through settlement. And there's a variety of claims that come through, and a lot of them have to do with trip and fall. People in the community might feel that there's a hazardous situation. There might be uneven pavement. There could be something out at the market grounds that they feel was unsafe, so they'll file a claim. As far as employment practices, if we have some type of discrimination or harassment claim, that would come through as a claim, liability claim initially through the city. And then also dangerous conditions. If we have, public facilities and locations that we have to make sure are safe for the community. We've had individuals sit on chairs that have broken or tables that were not secure at the time they felt caused their damage, I guess, to their, whatever the situation might be, or insufficient. I guess the other one is insufficient notice of a stop sign is one that we had recently. So there's just a wide variety of claims that come throughout through the city claim process. Currently, we only have 15 open liability claims, and the oldest one is from 2009. So it's very similar to the workers' comp process in that once the claim is processed through the city clerk's office, they send it over to Human Resources, and that's, again, when I work with York Services and to administer the claim through settlement. And the claim is settled. If we feel that the city has some type of responsibility for the damage, then we try to quickly settle the claim. And if the city is not responsible, then we reject the claim. And then again, the claimant can at that time file a litigation against the city. During this process, the city manager and city attorney are advised of every liability claim that are filed against the city, and they provide direction on the administration of the claim. And each claim is thoroughly investigated to determine, again, if the city feels that there is responsibility and we want to settle the claim right away, we'll go ahead and do that. Otherwise, again, we will reject the claim, and then the claimant has the opportunity to file a lawsuit with the city. The city manager approves a settlement of the claim within his authority. Anything above that amount then is brought to council, and then you would make that decision. And I'll talk a little bit about NCCSIF and how they play a part in our claim settlement. As you know, the city of Galt, check here. Go back, buddy. Okay. Sorry about that. The City of Galt is a member of Northern California Cities Self-Insurance Fund. And what that is, it's a pool of cities that was created in 1979 to self-fund our workers' comp and liability coverage. Currently, there are 21 cities that participate in the workers' comp plan and 19 cities that participate in the liability program. And just to let you know, the City of Galt was an original member since 1979. And this NCCSIF, they cover, like it says, Northern California. The City of Galt and Rio Vista were on the southern end of it, and it goes all the way up to Anderson and Red Bluff. So we have a wide range of area that we cover. The cities are in the wide range. The advantage to pooled coverage is that our rates are not subject to commercial insurance, and that means that the member cities have control over the administration, the programs, the rates, and the policies. So every city has a board member on NCCSIF that meets quarterly, and they determine how the pool will be run and, again, how it will be administered. NCCSIF has been very conservative over the past few years, and since its inception, is very well funded. And as of June 30th of 2010, NCCSIF had over $51 million in assets. And that was after distributing $6 million in refunds to its member agencies. So being very prudent and conservative since 1979 has helped benefit some of the agencies now with our tough economic times. But just to let you know, the liability and workers' comp program, they're funded at the most conservative rate that's recommended by our actuary. So again, to be self-funded means there isn't insurance. And I think that's important for the council and our employees and the community to understand that we don't pay a premium. We pay what is called a deposit. And I'll talk to you a little bit later about how the deposits work. But when we pay out a claim, especially if it's a claim in our banking layer, dollar for dollar, that is coming out of city funds. So we pay a deposit every year, and then our claims are paid through NCCSIF. So it's not like we have an insurance policy. This is actually city money that, the ways that we can conserve and prevent accidents and provide safer environment in the city saves money for the city in the long run. So, for example, how workers' compensation is divided. First is the banking fund, and that's what I mentioned to you earlier. If a claim is from $0 to $100,000 for a workers' comp claim, that is actual City of Galt money. We have authority to settle that claim, and we have all the decision power for anything from $0 to $100,000. If something goes over if a claim goes over $100,000, then that's in the shared risk layer. And what that means is all of the cities have contributed to the shared risk layer. So if a claim goes over $100,000, NCCSIF Claims Committee will decide whether or not or how the claim will be settled. Claims that go above $500,000, those are in our excess pool, which is through CSAC, and they pay workers' comp claims up to statutory. So what that means, there is no limit. It's whatever we are required to pay for a workers' comp claim is what will be paid, anything over $500,000 up to statutory limits. Employers' liability, they will pay up to $5 million. just to let you know, for this year, what we paid for our deposit to NCCSIF is $376,561, and that is for our workers' comp coverage. The liability program is structured very similar to workers' comp. The banking fund is slightly lower. It's $0 to $50,000. So if we have any claim that comes through, the City of Galt will be able to settle the claim from $0 to $50,000. Anything from $50,000 to $5 million is a shared risk layer. So that's when NCCSIF has their claims committee that will advise and make the decision on how to settle that claim. And again, we have another pool, which is CJPRMA, that does our excess layer, and that is up to, actually up to $39 million. For the city to participate in the liability program for 2011-12, the coverage cost is $207,952. So that's the deposit that we send to NCCSIF. Other coverage the city has is PEPIP, and that's Public Employee Property Insurance Program. And this is actual insurance, and it covers all of our real property. So all of our buildings and contents are covered by this insurance program, and the coverage limit is $1,000 per loss, and there's a $5,000 deductible. So we have had damage to property that we have used this insurance for in the past, and the premium is $37,597. NCCSIF provides an appraisal of all of our property every 5 years, so we do keep up to date on what the values are of the property. We also have crime coverage that covers employee theft, forgery, computer fraud, and credit debit or charge card forgery. And this coverage limit is $1 million per loss, and the deductible is $5,000, and that premium is $1,776 per year, just for your reference. The last section of risk management that I wanted to talk about is risk prevention. And this is just really an effort to promote worker safety and provide a safe work environment for the community. This effort is supported by the Risk Management Committee of NCCSIF. And again, that committee meets quarterly. And every city, again, has a member that has input into that program. The risk prevention services that they provide are safety consulting. These are on-site services, safety consulting, where they will provide training or provide experts in certain areas that will come to the city and help us. We've had, actually every other year, we have a consultant that comes out and looks at all of our buildings. They'll walk through and give us advice on making it safer for our employees. We have hotline services. If we have questions regarding OSHA or other employee safety issues, we can give the consultants a call, and they will either answer our questions over the phone, or many times they come out here and help the city. Through this program, we also have seminars and training. Over the last 3 or 4 years, we've had BackSafe, and that is a program that focuses mainly on police, public works, parks, and the market. And they come out and train our employees on back safety, lifting, and whatever their job, whatever, it's job specific. So they train the employees on how basically to keep their back safe. Let's see, they provided training in confined space for our public works department. We have a sewer backup response program that has been provided to the city, and then employees have been trained on. Every other year, the city, like other employees, were required to provide harassment prevention training, which is supported through NCCSIF. And we also have a DOT, which is the Department of Transportation, random drug testing. Every quarter, employees that are a part of the DOT program that drive commercial vehicles, they have to be randomly selected, and I coordinate that they are sent to our occupational health doctor and make sure that they pass that test. So I kind of went through that quickly. Do you have any questions regarding any of the risk management programs?
Questions, anyone?
I got one or two.
Mike, please.
Should have known that. You had said in your, when you get a disability claim filed, that you, as a city, can accept or reject that within 45 days?
Yes,
Is there an appeal process if it is rejected at that time?
they do have an appeal process.
They do, okay. I just wasn't sure if there was. And our membership, you said it was 376,561. I'm assuming that's different each year?
It is.
Correct? Okay.
Yes, it's based on quite a few factors, but such as payroll and our experience, and yeah, there are a variety of factors.
Okay, and then that's also on top of the 207,000, so it's a combination of both that we
Yes.
deposit for
One
that?
is for the workers' comp program, and the other is for liability.
Okay. That's all I had. Thank you. Very
Okay.
nice.
Any other questions, comments? Thank you, Paula, so much.
Sure.
And I would just mention that the city is made up of many different departments, and our city manager has arranged for each department to give a report about their duties and everything for the education of the council and for the citizens. So tonight, the star was our Human Resources Department. Thank you so much. Now we will go to public comment. Public comment is next.
Under Government Code Section 54954.3, members of the public may address the council on non-agenda items. Speakers may address council on any agenda item during consideration of the item. Speakers shall restrict their comments to issues that are within the subject jurisdiction of the City of Galt and limit comments to a maximum of 3 minutes. Please let a speaker sheet located on the table inside the entrances to the council chambers and forward the completed speaker sheet to the city clerk. And first I have Al Baldwin.
Good evening, or should I say aloha.
What
It's a beautiful day today. Al Baldwin, I live in Galt. Of course, Galt's a pleasure to live in many cases because it's a city of character. And you'll be hearing much more about this city of character as time goes on this month. And you'll be able to celebrate a big celebration about character in Galt very shortly. But that's in the future. Tonight, I came here to just give a little bit of a short presentation because we can't give long ones anymore. But I'm here to ask you if you, and the public also, and since it's on camera, if they can't come, they can also see what or hear what I'm about to say. I'm asking you to fly your flag on Sunday, September 11th, the 10th anniversary of one of our country's worst tragedies. This is something we should do to honor those who lost their lives on 9/11, and also those servicemen and women who are fighting to preserve our freedom. For some time after the awful day of 2001, a large percentage of the homes displayed the flag of the United States of America. It was a time when we wanted everyone to know that we appreciated this wonderful country we live in. We are proud to be Americans. But then, after a while, some forgot the shock of the terrorism and neglected to fly their flag. And by the way, you don't have to fly your flag. At that time when it happened, and maybe you'll remember this, newspapers sent out flags in the paper that you could cut out and just tape to your window. So you don't have to fly a flag, spend a lot of money on a flag, but it was great at that time to show the patriotism. And maybe your flag had become faded or worn if you flew it outside at that time, and now it's old. But if so, now's the time to purchase a new one. If you do need to replace the old flag, don't forget to give it to an organization that will retire it properly. There's Boy Scouts that'll do it. Even our Ace Hardware will do it if you take it. Maybe you don't even realize that. I hope to see all the businesses and homes fly a flag sending a message of honor to all. And I say that with all humbleness. Please fly your flag on Sunday, September 11th. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Al.
Thanks, Al.
Woody?
Last month we talked about bringing new businesses to town. Well, I have one for you, but I have to get it cleared with the city attorney. It's a locksmith company. And then we're going to go. We need more rooftops in Galt so you can get some more businesses that you were talking about last time. I think you're like 20,000 short. And last year, Elk Grove, last week, Elk Grove, we had our investors meeting. Did you know they're coming southward? They just took in 8,000 acres. It's all approved. And y'all were fighting this. And they're taking 2,500 acres to the Consumnes River. They're taking, and all the way to 99. And you cross 99, they're going all the way to 5. I can't even see this thing. And then we went to a meeting at Citrus Heights. They built 66 homes and sold them all in 2 weeks. They built a mall, and it's full. I think that's what we need to be doing here. And last week also, we had to move our investment company and insurance office from Elk Grove Boulevard to 99 in Elk Grove because we grew out of it. And we also won Business of the Year. 2 years prior, our pool company won both years. What else I got down here? I think that's it.
Congratulations.
But I thought I'd tell you about what's going on. Oh, and some lady, when I told her at our meeting, I said, I'm going to be telling Galt about going to 99 and Consumnes. She said, you know what? I don't care about them. She owns a lot of shopping centers. She says, they've been sitting there for 9 years. No building, no nothing, so we're going down.
Sounds like a challenge, Woody.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, Woody. Any other public comments? No more public comments? Then we will go to the consent calendar. Liz?
We have 3 items tonight. The first one, approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of August 16th, 2011. Number 2, approval of the City of Galt warrants. And number 3, fiscal year 2011-2012 Environmental Enhancement and Mitigation Program grant application for the Central Galt Interchange Landscape Project. Move to approve.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Before I call for the vote, I would ask Liz to read the recommended action on this.
Approval of the consent calendar or on number?
On number 3 only.
Okay, number 3, adopt a resolution approving the filing of an application for fiscal year 2011-2012 Environmental Enhancement and Mitigation Program grant assistance. Number 2, certifying that the City of Galt will make adequate provisions for operations and maintenance of the project. And number 3, appointing the Director of Public Works as agent of the city to be responsible for various activities which include, but are not limited to, conducting negotiations, executing, and submitting documents which may be necessary for the completion of the project.
Thank you. We have a first and a second. I'll call for the roll call vote.
Vice Mayor Powers? Aye. Councilmember Singleton?
Aye.
Councilmember Shelton?
Aye.
Councilmember Cruz?
Aye.
Mayor Payne?
Aye. Motion is passed unanimously. We will go, we have no scheduled matters. We will go to regular calendar, City Council office.
Good evening. I want you as the citizens of our city to consider something. We're extremely lucky to be Americans, and we have freedoms others wish or seek to have. But how are these freedoms maintained? We have men and women of our armed services who are dedicated to maintaining our freedoms. Many are from our own city. How is Galt going to show its appreciation to these people? I would like council to consider the following use of my discretionary funds. We would start up a program that allows the citizens of Galt to show their appreciation in the following manner. We would post banners with the name, photo, and the branch of service of each of our soldiers on active duty and deployed overseas. Initially, the banners would be on light poles starting at Main Street, CN Civic, and continue to Old Town. This would expand into the business district as the number of banners increased. The only criteria would be the soldier has been a student of one of Galt's high schools and they are on active duty and deployed overseas. At the end of the soldier's tour of duty, the City Council would present the banner to the young man or woman and their family as our way of saying thank you. As I said, this is the start of a very important program to show our respect and admiration to our servicemen and women. Any future monies would again come from discretionary funds and donations from the public and businesses. These could also allow the program to expand to cover all active duty services, men and women, whether deployed here or abroad. I personally will be donating both time and personal funds to get the project off the ground. It's that important to me. I would like to give a special thank you to the Soaring Eagle Blue Star Mounts of Susanville for their input to this. Annette and Dean Kuntz of Galt, they're the ones who actually brought this to the Council's attention. Lieutenant James Updegrove, he provided some of our photos for us, and to Deborah Savage of the City of Susanville. She's the one who put me in contact with all the people who made this possible. And I leave it to Council to make the decision as to what we do.
Okay.
Can we say something now?
Yeah, are there any comments from council members?
I think it's a great idea, and you and I talked about it. I'm glad that you jumped in, ran with it. When we did get the very nice email from Jeanette and Dean, I think that we all probably responded back to them and said that, you know, that's a great idea. I also wanted to offer my discretionary funds to you if you need more money, because I think it's probably one of the best things we can do for the citizens of Galt.
I agree.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Any other comments?
Do you have a cost, by chance?
At this point, I don't. I have a couple of companies back east, one of which is actually willing to donate a certain number of these banners free of charge.
Okay. I think one of the other things, because Galt High is celebrating the 100th year, I think this honors those kids, and these kids now could be not only children, grandparents, and great-grandchildren and grandchildren. So maybe it's something to think about as going to the school board too with it. I think maybe you could get some assistance there too, and I agree.
How long would these banners stay up? Do you know? Do you have an idea, Mark?
They'd stay up until the young man or woman
Comes back,
returned back
whatever.
from their tour of duty. Once they were finished, we'd make an official presentation, whether it be this council or councils in the future.
Okay, any other comments? I think previously at a council meeting, we approved the council members being able to use their discretionary money. So I would just confirm with our city attorney that we can vote on this action tonight.
Yes, ma'am, you can vote on it.
City manager, did you have a comment?
No, just the Councilmember Cruz has $1,000 discretionary funds. Vice Mayor Powers indicated her interest in helping support that to the extent that additional funds are needed. I also know that Councilmember Cruz is interested in seeking donations from members of the public, and so assume that a report will be brought back to the council once all the details of the plan are brought forward and when we're ready to start moving forward. But certainly, that's all that we need to move forward to appropriate the funds.
But we do need a motion from the council, so I would entertain a motion on Councilman Cruz's program.
I move to accept Councilmember Cruz's program.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Councilman Shelton. I would have a roll call vote unless there is any other comments or discussion. Okay.
Vice Mayor Powers? Aye. Councilmember Singleton?
Aye.
Councilmember Shelton?
Aye.
Councilmember Cruz?
Definitely aye.
Mayor Payne?
Aye. Motion is passed unanimously, and thank you for bringing that forward, Councilman Cruz.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, next item.
Next item, under the City Manager's Office, Shop Local Committee Appointments.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council. My pleasure to present this report to you this evening. Back in 2008, the city adopted an economic development roadmap that articulated a vision for the community as far as economic development is concerned. One of the recommendations from that report was to create a shop local committee or shop local effort. Recommendation was that it be spearheaded by the local Chamber of Commerce to help encourage residents to shop locally, to visit local businesses, and through various special events, marketing, promotions, other things that we can encourage our residents to stay here locally and shop and spend their money here. Shortly after that plan was adopted, Mayor Payne very aggressively went out and contacted the Chamber of Commerce and led the effort to initiate and start a shop local committee. And that committee was started a couple of years ago. It's been a very successful effort. The committee has helped to organize a number of different things, from the extravaganza to business fairs to participating in the farmers market, the tree lighting ceremonies, other things to get businesses involved and active in our downtown or old town, and other things. The Chamber currently does lead the effort, and Ulrich has been a leading force along with the mayor in spearheading that, inviting local businesses to participate in that effort to plan and organize that. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of organization or structure to the Shop Local group. There's no official budget. There's no other things that would give that organization the structure that it needs in order to move forward. The mayor and I had a meeting with the Chamber of Commerce back in August. We talked about the Shop Local Committee and the direction it was headed, things that we might need to look at doing to improve it. One of the recommendations came out of that meeting was that we appoint a steering committee made up of 2 council members and 2 Chamber of Commerce members that could serve as that steering committee to give some better structure and organization to that committee. They could make recommendations as far as budget's concerned, as far as setting outline or plan for the coming year, events, other things that want to go on. The idea is that through the appointment of those 4 individuals, there would still be great participation by other businesses that would be invited to participate, but that it might provide a little bit better structure and organization to that group. And the thought also is that we still want the chamber to take the lead in this. That was a recommendation from the study. We think it makes sense that they're really the business organization of the city, and that they continue to take the lead in that, and one of the 2 chamber reps, as well as the executive director, would help to provide that leadership, and that one of those reps would serve as the chair of that organization. So one of the first priorities of this new steering committee for the Shop Local Committee would be to plan and organize upcoming events, which events want to take place through the remainder of this year as well as into 2012, come up with a budget, who's going to participate, what type of donation, other groups or agencies that want to be involved in that, and come back and present a report to the City Council and the Chamber to figure out how those events are going to take place and get the broad support of the local businesses as well as the City and the Chamber. Once that's accomplished, then we'll be able to move forward. At this point, there's no financial impact to the city, but there may be, depending on the recommendations of that group going forward, and that would come back as a separate action of the council in the future. All that we're asking for the council tonight, if the council is interested in moving forward with that new structure for the Shop Local Committee, is that the City Council appoint 2 council members to serve on the steering committee of this new organization of the Chamber of Commerce. So that's my report. Happy to answer any questions. I know the mayor's been right in the middle of this, so she can probably answer just as many questions as I can.
Are there any questions, comments?
I think it's kind of you and Mark's baby, isn't it? So,
Is that like a nomination?
yeah, that's kind of like a nomination for the 2 of you. I mean, you've been doing a lot of it.
Mark, looks like,
I think we've been volunteered.
well, far be it for me to decide our vice mayor. So we have a first and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Aye. Vice Mayor Payne, or Vice Mayor Powers.
Aye.
Councilmember Singleton.
Aye.
Councilmember Shelton.
Aye.
Councilmember Cruz.
Aye.
Mayor Payne.
Happily. Aye.
I just want to add that Councilmember Singleton and I have a big project too, so
It's true.
we thought we'd share the wealth.
Oh, thank you very
Right.
much for that,
Sure.
Vice Mayor. Okay, that motion was passed unanimously. Next item, please.
Next item, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Galt adopting Chapter 2.90 of the Galt Municipal Code regarding the Beautification Committee.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. As the council is aware, we've been going through the process of adopting uniform rules and regulations in the municipal code for each of the city's standing commissions or committees. There are two ordinances presented this evening for your consideration. The first one relates to the Beautification Committee, and this ordinance would establish uniform rules and regulations for that committee in the municipal code. It does not change the makeup or the duties of that body. There would still be 5 members, which each member appointed by one council member. There would continue to be one alternate member, and as I indicated, the purpose and functions would remain the same as they currently exist. So unless there are any questions relating to this ordinance, my recommendation is that the ordinance be introduced, the council waive full reading, and continue the matter to the next regular meeting.
You've heard the recommended action. Is there a motion?
I motion we follow staff's advice on this.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a first and a second. Is there any other discussion or questions? If not, I'll call for the vote.
Vice Mayor Powers?
Aye.
Councilmember Singleton?
Aye.
Councilmember Shelton?
Aye.
Councilmember Cruz?
Aye.
Mayor Payne?
Aye. Motion passed unanimously. Next item, please.
Next item, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Galt adopting Chapter 2.95 of the Galt Municipal Code regarding the Public Safety Committee.
Mayor and council members, this is a similar ordinance relating to the Public Safety Committee. This committee would continue to have the same membership, which would be 7 members with, 7 voting members and 4 non-voting members, as it currently exists. The purpose and functions of the Public Safety Committee would remain the same as they currently are, and there are no other changes as it relates to the function or composition of this body. My recommendation, again, is that you introduce this ordinance, waive full reading, and continue the matter to the next regular meeting.
Okay, you've heard the recommended action. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to accept.
Thank you, Councilman Singleton. Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a first and maybe a couple of seconds. Call for the
Faster.
vote.
Faster on the draw.
Vice Mayor Powers? Aye. Councilmember Singleton?
Aye.
Councilmember Shelton?
Aye.
Councilmember Cruz?
Aye.
Mayor Payne?
Aye. Motion passed unanimously. Next item, please.
Next item, negative declaration for the wastewater treatment plant summer surface water discharge project.
Thank you and good evening. The Galt wastewater treatment plant currently operates so that treated effluent is either reclaimed on-site by crop irrigation or it's stored in the reservoir during the summer months and then discharged to Laguna Creek via Skunk Creek from November 1 to April 30th of every year. In September of 2010, the Central Valley Regional Water Quality Control Board approved a new operating permit for the city's wastewater treatment plant, which authorized the city to discharge to Laguna Creek during the additional 6 months of the year, May 1 through October 31st. This approval was subject to the city implementing certain effluent water quality improvements. Those improvements involved installation of tertiary filtration and ultraviolet disinfection facilities, which have since been installed and have been operational since January of this year. The new tertiary filters provide improved suspended solids and turbidity removal, and the city also converted the former chlorine-based wastewater disinfection system to a UV light disinfection system, which raised the treatment level at the plant from secondary to tertiary treatment. Based on these upgrades and the resulting effluent quality improvements, the wastewater treatment plant now fully meets the regulatory requirements of the NPDES permit and the waste discharge requirements in order to implement summer discharge operations. Even though summer discharge has already been approved by the Regional Water Board, it is still considered a project as defined by CEQA, and therefore one final step before discharge can commence is that we evaluate the potentially significant environmental impacts of this project. An initial study was prepared in accordance with CEQA, and it concluded that the project will have no significant adverse environmental impacts. Consequently, a negative declaration is recommended for adoption at tonight's meeting. The project that was analyzed in the CEQA document is to commence annual discharge to Skunk and Laguna Creeks during May 1 through October 31st, up to the maximum of 3 million gallons per day, which is the permit capacity at the wastewater treatment plant. As I already mentioned, the city discharges to the creek currently from November 1 to April 30th, so no changes are proposed to that existing operation. This simply adds the other 6 months of the year. Under this project, the city would also discontinue the lease of the adjacent 160-acre Roman Catholic Bishop property, which is south of the wastewater treatment plant in this area. The sole purpose for that lease was to maximize the city's ability to reclaim or store irrigation water during that 6 months in the summer when we were required to. Now that the regional board has permitted summer discharge, that additional land is no longer needed. Under the permit, the city is still required, however, to operate to maximize summer irrigation on lands that the city already owns at the wastewater treatment plant. So we're still required to reclaim treated effluent in our irrigation areas, which are here and here out at the wastewater treatment plant. Therefore, the actual discharge to Laguna Creek is more likely to be in the range of 1.6 to 2.5 million gallons per day instead of the permitted 3 that's allowed. If it does not become a cost burden to the city could still willingly provide irrigation water to an adjacent farmer if they so desired, but it's just no longer required that we do so. Because the city never has discharged treated effluent to Laguna Creek during the May through October period, the focus of the CEQA document is the long-term operations-related environmental effects of discharge during those months. There is no construction or other improvements necessary at the wastewater treatment plant. Skunk Creek, which is the little section that leads from the discharge point out to Laguna, and then Laguna Creek on this one then continues down to the confluence of the Casinas River. Skunk Creek is typically dry during the May through October period, so this will be a change in conditions for Skunk Creek. However, Laguna Creek generally has stream flow present throughout the year as a result of supplemental water discharge from Rancho Seco, and that's used to support irrigation for the agricultural demands in the area. The CEQA initial study was prepared by Robertson Bryan, Inc., RBI, and Jeff Lafer, to my right, is here tonight to help answer any technical questions you might have about the analysis. The only 2 subject areas which RBI identified for environmental impacts were biological resources and hydrology/water quality. However, that analysis ultimately concluded that those impacts were less than significant. The water quality issues were evaluated extensively in the CEQA document, section 3.10, to determine if the project would violate any water quality standards or waste discharge requirements, if it would degrade water quality or interfere with groundwater discharge. A good part of that information came from a pre-existing anti-degradation study that was prepared when the city proposed to go to summer discharge to the Regional Water Board. The Regional Board, when they adopted the city's renewed NPDES permit, determined that the limited degradation that would occur was within the requirements of state and federal anti-degradation policies and would not cause substantial risk of adverse effects on beneficial uses. Therefore, those potential impacts were deemed less than significant. The other extensive analysis in the CEQA document was related to potential impacts on biological resources because of habitat modification. We'd be adding additional water to the creeks, and if it would interfere substantially with the movement or migration of any fish or wildlife species. Again, this potential impact was thoroughly evaluated in the document. A hydrologic model was done, air photos were evaluated, and the ultimate determination was the potential impacts were deemed to be less than significant. The draft CEQA document was advertised for public review on July 13th. The review period ended August 11th. During that time, staff received only one actual comment letter that was from the regional board, but it was basically an informational letter just indicating what permits could be applicable to the project. It turns out that none of them are actually directly applicable. The fiscal impact is outlined in the staff report. The CEQA consultant contract is paid for out of Wastewater Fund 14. That was about $60,000. Staff time spent on the CEQA project is estimated about $7,000. And then there's Department of Fish and Game filing fees of about $2,100. On the positive side, as I noted, the city will have an annual cost savings resulting from this project because of the discontinuance of the lease of the Roman Catholic bishop property. Most recently, that lease cost the city $22,000 for a 6-month extension so that we could complete the CEQA analysis. All the required findings to adopt the proposed negative declaration are included in the resolution, which is attached to your staff report. And that concludes my report if you have any questions.
Are there any questions regarding this? Would you read the recommended action on this, please?
Recommended action, adopt the resolution approving the California Quality Act negative declaration for the wastewater treatment plant summer surface water discharge project.
Okay, is there a motion to that effect?
I move.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a first and second. Is there any other discussion or questions? Then I'll call for the vote.
Vice Mayor Powers? Aye. Councilmember Singleton?
Aye.
Councilmember Shelton?
Aye.
Councilmember Cruz?
Aye.
Mayor Payne?
Aye. Motion passed unanimously. Next item, please.
Next item, Culture and Recreation Department Youth Sports Player User and Athletic Field Light Fees.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. At the May 24th council meeting, council directed staff to meet with all youth sports organizations regarding the light fee and a $10 user fee for youth groups that use our facilities. On July 20th, staff met with 5 of the 7 youth groups. And at that meeting, we had a unanimous consensus regarding a $15 per hour light fee and a $10 per hour user fee for our facilities. At the August 3rd Parks and Rec Commission meeting, the $15 light fee and $10 user fee were brought to the commissioners. At that meeting, the commissioners voted to accept staff's recommendation with an amendment to specify that all Parks and Rec sports programs be included in the charge. Staff does not recommend that recommendation. We will be conducting a fee study regarding our programs in the near future, and we would request that it be evaluated at that point for the $10 fee. Council has directed staff to meet with them, with the youth groups. We've come to a consensus. We all are comfortable with the $15 an hour light fee and $10 user fee. I will be able to provide you more information on which of the citizens or non-residents are using the fields in the future once we start collecting the data. And I can answer any questions for you at this point.
Any questions?
No.
Discussion?
Yes.
Mayor?
Good job, Armando, because, you know, as I said before, and I still believe that the park maintenance is, if you're going to use the fields, you should be helping to maintain them. So I appreciate your efforts, and I appreciate you going forward with looking into that.
Actually, all the youth groups have been very supportive of this $10 user fee. The $10 fee will be going back to a dedicated fund for maintenance of the facilities and replacement of the Walker Park turf area.
Good.
So they understand that they're investing in their future also.
And along those lines, with Vice Mayor Ms. Powers, I'm going to say great job. Thank you. This is exactly why I asked us to come back to staff, was because I knew that we had new personnel, staff, new council, that if we really tried and sat down, you guys could work out a compromise. And this is exactly what I'd like to see happen. Thank you very much. It's a great, I think you did a great job, and as well as the people that participated in agreeing with the $10 and $15. I think it's a good compromise. That's what it's about, compromise. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
I have a question. You said that we had met, I mean your people, we've met with the youth, and then there's the $35 an hour for all fields for adults. So we met with some of the adult leagues too.
There currently are no adult leagues in the city of Galt. All adult sports programs are city of Galt programs, and that will be evaluated in the fee survey.
But if somebody wanted to rent one of our facilities
then they would be charged the $35.
That's it.
Yeah, that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That answers my question, thanks.
Okay. Councilman Cruz?
I was just going to motion that we accept staff's recommendation.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Is there any other comments or questions? If not, I'll call for the vote.
Vice Mayor Powers?
Aye.
Councilmember Singleton?
Aye.
Councilmember Shelton? Councilmember Cruz?
All right.
Mayor Payne?
Aye, motion passed unanimously. Next item, please.
Next item, Public Works Department, right-of-way acquisition for Twin Cities Road, State Route 99 Interchange Improvement Project.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the City Council. The proposed resolution pertains to seeking authorization from County Board of Supervisors to acquire the properties, right-of-ways for the proposed project for Twin Cities Road and State Route 99. As you know, that staff is working on this project. We have completed the project report, what we call as a project study report. In concept, Caltrans has approved the report. Subsequently, that approval of concept report, we have initiated the preliminary design for the project. During the design, we identified need for additional right-of-way. There are 7 parcels identified where we are requiring a portion of those parcels as rights-of-way necessary to construct the necessary improvements. Typically, City Council has the authority to acquire those rights-of-way if the properties are within city limits. Under California Streets and Highway Code, if the property is outside the city limit, for example, in this case, Sacramento unincorporated county area, in that case, the City Council has to request authorization from County Board of Supervisors to acquire the properties within the county. And same thing will be applicable if county is acquiring any right-of-way within the city. So staff is requesting approval of the proposed resolution where we are requesting the County Board of Supervisors to authorize the City Council to acquire the properties or necessary rights-of-ways for construction of this project. So once this resolution is adopted, we will be forwarding this resolution to the County Board of Supervisors, and then the County Board of Supervisors will also approve a resolution authorizing the City Council to acquire these properties. Having said that, that concludes my report. I will be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Would anyone have any questions after that?
Do you foresee any problems with Board of Supervisors?
No, Councilmember Singleton, we do not.
Okay. I just want to prepare myself if we have issues coming up with the Board of Supervisors that we're going to
Our
have to
problems
deal
aren't
with.
with the county, it's further north.
Yeah, yeah, so, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? If not, I would entertain a motion on staff's recommendation or whatever.
I'll make a recommendation to accept.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Roll call vote.
Or whatever.
Okay, Vice Mayor Powers?
Aye.
Councilmember Singleton?
Aye. Just have too much fun.
Councilmember Shelton is absent. Councilmember Cruz?
Aye.
Mayor Payne?
Aye. Motion passed 4 with 1 absentee. Next, please.
Okay, next is communications. I don't show any, but
No communications? Then we will adjourn to the redevelopment agency. Roll call, please.
Board members Powers? Here. Singleton?
Here.
Shelton? Cruz?
Here.
Powers? I already said, oh,
Here.
Payne. Payne.
Here, present. That's okay. Okay, is there any public comment?
I have no speaker sheet.
Okay,
I have
then
Powers twice in 9 minutes.
we will go to the consent calendar.
Okay, we have,
Do that, please.
I will. We have 3 items. Approval of the minutes of the meeting of August 16th, 2011. Number 2, approval of the redevelopment agency warrants. And number 3, a resolution of the City of Galt Redevelopment Agency adopting an enforceable obligation payment schedule.
Is there any motion or questions?
I recommend we receive the information on the consent except for presented.
Okay.
I'm trying to get it down.
I know what you mean. So there has been a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any questions on that? Kind of a thick thing. If not,
Yeah, I just,
there are no questions.
it's that redevelopment thing that just
That redevelopment
bugged
thing?
me, yeah.
Whatever.
Well, you know it is, it's an issue,
We'll call for the vote.
It's a big issue.
yeah.
Board members Powers? Aye. Singleton?
Aye.
Shelton? Cruz?
I want you to note I didn't say anything this time. Aye.
Payne?
Aye. Consent calendar has been approved unanimously. So we will adjourn from the redevelopment agency and reconvene to the regular Galt City Council meeting. The clerk's report.
Okay, as council is probably aware, we've been auditing the Galt Municipal Code and bringing back some cleanup items the last couple months, and I think this is my last one. We'll see. But before you is an ordinance, the existing provisions of section 5.18.015 of the Municipal Code pertains to definitions of the chapter regarding bingo parlors. There's a reference in that section, it's a 1 or 2 sentence section, there's a reference in that section which refers to a section which does not exist. Did some research, it was during the originating ordinance back in 1994, so it's an error that's been on the books for quite a while. In talking to the city attorney, we agreed that just repealing the section would be appropriate. So at this time, I ask council to introduce an ordinance repealing section 5.18.015 of chapter 5.18 of the Galt Municipal Code, waive the full reading of the ordinance, and continue the matter to the next regular meeting.
You've heard the recommendation to clean up this ordinance on something that doesn't exist. Is there a motion to that effect?
I'll make a motion to accept the cleanup.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
I'll call for the vote.
Vice Mayor Powers? Aye. Councilmember Singleton?
Aye.
Councilmember Shelton?
Aye.
Councilmember Cruz?
Aye.
Mayor Payne?
Aye. Passed unanimously.
Who gets the broom?
Okay, we will move on then to, do you want to do the calendar?
Yeah,
Okay.
do that real quick. Okay, the Planning Commission meeting, which was supposed to be on September 8th, has been canceled and rescheduled to September 15th here in the council chambers at 6:30 p.m. There will be a Galt Youth Committee meeting on September 12th at 6:30. That's also a special meeting for them due to the holiday yesterday. There is a Parks and Recreation Commission meeting on September 14th in the council chambers at 7 p.m., and that will bring us to our next city council meeting.
Thank you.
So I didn't miss anything.
Comments by staff? City manager?
Just a reminder that city offices will be closed Thursday and Friday.
For what
this week.
reason?
Admissions Day
Okay,
is
thank you.
Thursday, and then Friday's our normal 980 day off.
Okay. Any other
Everybody
comments?
know what Admissions Day is?
Oh, that's right.
Would you like to explain that to us, please?
The day the state of California was admitted to the Union.
Right.
Yep.
That's right.
Can we change our minds?
If we did, we'd have to boot a lot of guys up at Capitol Hill out.
Any other comments from staff? If not, I'd ask for comments from council, and I would start with Vice Mayor Powers.
I just wanted to let everyone know that the Senior Club is having a tea this Saturday from 2 to 4 at the Cibola Center. It's one of their fundraisers of the year, so if you'd like to come in and participate in that, it's $15 a person, and the theme is An Occasion to Remember.
A day to remember.
A day to remember. I almost said
Yeah,
it there.
something like that.
Yes, they are to remember. No.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, and I think that's,
Out of control.
I think that's,
Is that it?
I think so, yes.
Okay. Councilman Singleton.
Well, if you're not sure, just let
I'll
me
come
know.
back and let you know.
Just one thing, I attended the grand opening of Kaiser Permanente. They opened their new emergency tower over there, emergency department. It was really nice. Kevin Johnson was there. There were, of quite a few people there. It's pretty high tech. They have a 24-hour pharmacy, but instead of like they have an outside pharmacy where the window's outside the building right now, they have an inside 24-hour pharmacy now, and cardiac catheterization lab. But it's just a meditation room, which is pretty cool. Had some neat stuff in there. So anyway, it was a good get together. Very impressive. From my understanding, the other Kaiser Permanente will be down on Grant Line or close to Grant Line down there. They're going to be opening, to my knowledge, in November. They're going to have their grand opening on that. And that's all I've got.
Thank you. Councilman Shelton.
Yes, I attended the Young Marine graduation, so we have 14 young recruits that got their promotion, and it was pretty well received. I thought there was a little over 100 people there, and I think that they're going to be working through for this near future to make a presentation to us.
Great. We'll look forward to that.
One other thing, Al, thanks for reminding us. You know, I think most of you know that as a member of the fire service, we lost not only members of the fire service, law enforcement, American citizens, but we lost people from all over the world. And please, let us never forget what happened on American soil. If you're like me, at that day, take a moment and reflect. I reflect every day, and I fly flag every day ever since I've been about 14 years old. So, but that's my choice. That's why I live in America. So, thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Cruz.
I think Councilman Shelton said it all. I did have one quick question for the city manager. On Sunday, will we be flying our flag, or will it be making arrangements to have it flown?
We will.
Thank you, sir.
Is that it? I would just share with you that the city manager and I met with Supervisor Don Natoli, and one of the things we discussed is an ongoing concern of our citizens regarding animal control, which varies from a dog barking to dogs chewing down fences. And it's an area that we are going to work very hard to. I know our chief of police is working hard to address that, as well as I'm sure Supervisor Natoli will be talking to animal control so we can do the best we can to improve the quality of life for the people of Galt. Chief, did you want to say anything in regards to that? You're kind of giving me that look like maybe you did.
As a matter of fact, we had two loose pit bulls today that we were able to track down the owner. The owner was cited for dogs at large, and animal control did in fact respond, and it's my understanding that they took the dogs into custody and took them back to the facility.
Okay, thank you so much.
So I think our working relationship has already started to improve with animal control.
So they were vicious in any way, remember?
The first call we received was in fact they were chasing other animals. I don't believe they were chasing people, but there was a problem there.
Yeah.
Okay, I appreciate that. I know it is an ongoing concern, and it's something that we're going to have to continue to watch. But thank you so much, and I agree with the cooperation that you and the county have worked together on, that it will continue, and we'll try to stay on top of the matter. Thank you so much. If there are no other comments, at 8:25, this meeting is adjourned. That was a good meeting. We got a little bit out of control there. No, it's silly. I'm making my calendar had and I was reading it. I know, and I was reading it.
I did.
I never did.
Second reminder.
Well, you said Randy is yeah.
Oh.